In the wake of the child Q, Olivia and child A strip search scandals, the Department for Education has updated its guidance on searching, screening and confiscation of items from pupils. A local child safeguarding practice review of the child Q incident earlier this year has told the Department for Education to urgently revise its guidance after concluding that school staff should have been more challenging to the police and had insufficient focus on safeguarding needs. Schools must now assess and balance the risk of potential strip searches to pupils' well-being before calling the police, although I'll be surprised if they actually do. The Metropolitan Police admitted the humiliating search of the girl who smelled of cannabis in December 2020 should never have happened. While strip searches on school premises can only be carried out by police officers, the updated guidance now tells school staff that they must retain a duty of care for pupils involved and should advocate for pupil well-being at all times. Now this I don't actually agree with necessarily. The school should not be an advocate for the child, especially if it's the school who has called the police in the first place. The child's parents or primary caregiver must be the first people to be informed of any potential action to be taken against the child, with the right to attend or suggest an alternative person to attend. Staff have also been told that they should also ensure other appropriate, less invasive approaches have been exhausted before being introduced to the potential for a strip search through police involvement when a child is suspected of possessing a prohibited item. The guidance says that where reasonably possible, staff should inform a parent of the pupil in advance of the search and should always inform them once a strip search has taken place. Now, again, this whole reasonable possible rubbish is just to get out of informing the parent clause for school, where they know full well the parent will kick off, so will fail to inform the parent before the strip search and use an excuse such as the necessity to search the child quickly in order to carry it out before telling the parent, in my opinion. The new advice is said to be being introduced on the 1st of September this year and also stipulates that at least 2 other people, one of whom must be an appropriate adult, must be present for the strip search or a strip search involving exposure of intimate body parts, except in cases where there is risk of serious harm to the pupil or others. Now, remembering that a teacher can put themselves forward as an appropriate adult, which, as I've said, shouldn't be allowed, especially if the school themselves called the police in the first place. The review adds that if an item is found, this may be a police matter, but should always be accompanied by a safeguarding process handled by the school, which gives attention to the pupil's well-being and involves relevant staff, such as the designated safeguarding lead or deputy. Now, in some ways this is good. I suppose all of our children need to be protected from harm both physically and psychologically, but the fact the review deems it appropriate that a teacher of the school that has called the police to search a pupil in the first place is an appropriate person to be there is, to me at least, a worrying part of this. How would you feel if a teacher took the place of the appropriate adult instead of informing you and failing to give you the chance to be there to support your own child? Let me know what you think in the comments.